This week, we are going to be working on images and links. There is a lot of material to cover, so it is my recommendation that, especially for the lecture demo, that you go through the information on images on one day, and then I'd take a break and do links on a different day, just because of the amount of information. As far as the web-based readings, there aren't as many as last week, although these are excellent resources, especially for the HTML and the links. We are going to be doing some image editing. The lecture demo does include information you need to use LunaPick. However, if you guys want to go through the tutorials and learn a little bit more about it, I do have links to the tutorials, but those are optional. Everything you need to know how to do is in the lecture demo. Now, the lecture demo is split into a couple different parts. I've got image formats and image editing using LunaPick in one section. Then the HTML that you need for images in a separate reading. And finally, a reading on hyperlinks itself. So in the image formats and editing document, we go through the three primary types of graphics that you'll be putting in your pages, which are PNG, JPEG, and GIF. We also talk a little bit about SVG, just so you know what those are. And then we get into editing photos using LunaPick. I did include a link to Gimp, which is a program similar to Photoshop that you can download. But in this course, we are going to be using LunaPick because it is web-based and it handles everything that we need to do to photos, and it is free. So basically what we're going to be doing is resampling, and that adjusts the quality of the image, basically the number of pixels in it. We also are going to learn how to crop, which lets us save a portion of an image that we want to use and kind of discard the rest. And then color adjustments. If you scan photos over time, you'll notice that the color is distorted. So how do you fix that? So the rest of this lecture demo shows you how to do that. Then we get into the HTML for images. There is one tag that you need to use. It is the image tag. That is required. There are attributes that you have to add to the tag. And the two that are really required are source, which tells you the name of the image, and the location if it's in a different folder, and the alt attribute, which is used by screen readers. So if you have a visually impaired person looking at your page and they're using a screen reader, it will read the alt text. There are some additional attributes like title, which basically displays a tooltip, height and width, which help the browser render the image. So if you tell the browser what the height and width are, it doesn't have to calculate them. So that renders the image quicker. And how you can find the height and width is in the Windows Explorer. So there's a couple different things you can do to get the height and width, and I've got them described here. And then finally, we go get into a couple of the newer semantic tags, which are figure and figure caption. Those are optional. You do need to know what they do because there could be questions on your certification exam about those tags. I would do the image formats and HTML for images in one sitting. I would take a break or even on a different day do hyperlinks because it is a lot to try to go through all of this in one sitting. Hyperlinks are extremely important. They are case sensitive, and that is where students have the most difficulty, but you will be learning how to do an internal link, which takes you from one part of a page to another. And then you will be learning how to create two types of external links. External links take you to different pages. You will learn how to create a relative external link, which you will use to link to your own pages. You will also learn how to create an absolute external link, which you will use to link to other people's pages. So pages outside of your domain. And not only can you link to other web pages, but you can link to PDF files, you can link to PowerPoints, you can link to video. Absolute links can be used to link to anything that's on the web. So that's basically what this covers. Please read through this carefully. It is super important that you understand links, and I do have lots and lots of examples in here. Once you're done with the web-based readings and the images and links lecture, you are going to do the textbook assignment, and that is going to give you directed practice editing images and working with links. Also inserting images. So you're going to want to start by creating the folders that are specified. And then I'm actually giving you some images to work with. So you're going to download these by right-clicking and saving it into the Lesson 3 media folder. I do have a video that shows you how to do this. Okay, it shows you how to do the entire tasks. So make sure that you watch these videos. I recommend having a mobile device or a second monitor, and you can actually play the video on your mobile device or second monitor while you are completing the task. And then you can just pause the video. That, to me, is the easiest, fastest way to get this done. So there are written directions and videos that show you and tell you how to do everything. And then once you're done with task 2, you're going to move on to task 3, which does involve downloading another image and making some changes to it. Then we are downloading a page and some thumbnails, and you're going to be adding some links. Now, if you did not name your pages the same as I did, okay, if this is not how you named your image, okay, if you did not name it exactly like this with the same upper and lowercase lettering, you need to match how you named it. Okay, this is how I named it. This is how you were instructed to name it. But if you change the name, you got to use the name that you saved it under. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay, and that goes for adding images. Also, when you add links, you have to be aware of how you named things and where you put them. So these links will work, but they are all case sensitive. Okay, and for Bridge Optimized, that is one that you worked with and saved. So as long as you saved it this way, all lowercase with an uppercase O, and you put it in the media folder, this will work. But if you named it something different and you put it in a different location, or your media folder is named differently, this is not going to work. Okay? And so for these absolute links, these images do exist. In fact, you should be able to copy and paste those into the web browser and pull them up. If I take this and press Control C, of course, I don't want the double quote here. And then I paste it up here with Control V and I press Enter, you can actually see the image. And so when you click the link, this is the image that should display. And same with this one. If I copy this, paste it, this is the image that should display. Okay, so these are absolute links. You have to include the whole entire address, and it is case sensitive. For this one, you're going to download a page that I've created already, and you're going to download a couple of graphics, and you're going to end up with a little page that looks like this. However, you are going to adjust it, and at the bottom, you're going to put in a little footer with a couple of absolute links in it. Okay, so it's going to look a little different from this when it's all done. Task 6, you're going to be adding some internal links. The video explains more about it, but basically each one of these is going to be a link that'll take you to the different section of songs. And then at the bottom of the section is going to be a back to top link that if you click on it, it's going to go all the way up to the top. So those are all internal links. And then once you are done, you're going to have to transfer everything to the web. And here is a summary of what you are going to get points for. So every task in here has a video. This is directive, so you do need to follow the directions. And by the end, you should have several pages with links and images. This assignment is critical that you check it live online. So you're going to be going to lisaballbeck.com/whatever your NMC username is. So you've got to key that username in here, press enter, and then you'll see your folders that you can open and you'll see your pages. Once you have everything transferred and it looks good live, then you're going to go into the Dropbox and you are going to add the word done, and then you'll submit it. That way I know it's ready for grading. For the lab assignment, there are a couple of parts to the lab assignment. Part 1, you're going to create a new page that has graphics and links. And so you're going to have 3 sections, and you're going to be using the details and summary to hide and display content. And so here is a little example of how that might look. You are going to have a thumbnail graphic that links to a larger picture. So I don't really care what those graphics are of. You might want to do it on a theme. I did big cats. I have an example. I also did one with bridges, but if you look at this, this is a thumbnail. And if you click on it, it takes you to the web optimized image. So you're going to be doing something similar, and you can do whatever you are interested in. It does not have to be animals. It can be instruments. It can be vacation destinations, hobbies, whatever it is that you want to do it on. So that is the assignment. We are going to learn CSS next week, so we'll be able to make this look a little bit nicer. But for right now, it's going to look rather plain. So that's part 1. Part 2 is updating your assignment page with links. So at this point, you have text in there underneath the lessons, And what we need to do now is convert that text into links. So this is kind of what it looked like before. And then we've got what it looks like after with those links in there. And these will work for you as long as you named your folders and files the exact same as me. If you didn't name them the same as me, then you have to use how you named them. So if you did lesson 2, lowercase lesson and a space between lesson and 2, that's how you need to key it in. Okay, if you did not do it the exact same as me, you have to key it in the way that you created it. And so let me quick show you. So if you created a folder like that with a space, then instead of keying in what I have, you would have to do href equals lesson space 2 slash. And you'll notice it's all lowercase. If you created it all lowercase, you need to key it in all lowercase here. Okay, so they have to match. Once you add the links, then you're going to put a background graphic on your page. And so there are some free ones that you can get at this location. And these were basically designed for PowerPoint, but they work super well in web pages. Kind of ignore the ads, but what you want to do is kind of bring up the full size. And once you have that, you can right click, save image as, and then you can save that into a folder. And now where I would put this is in a media folder. So your assignment page is in here. I would create a media folder, open it up. This is a really long name to try to link to, so I would just rename it and call it background. And it's going to put the .jpeg on the end. Okay, so it's just a matter of finding something. Now, if you guys would prefer to get a picture, not a problem. You can get free, royalty-free pictures. I usually go to pixabay.com, but there are some others that are good, and I included those in the course resources. I'll try that again. Okay, so here, these are all royalty-free. So it's just a matter of finding one you like and downloading it. Well, that one's kind of cool. And you see it's a free download. Now with these, it's going to be really, really hard to see your text on top of this. So you're probably going to want to pull this into LunaPick and change the opacity, make that lighter. If that's something that you want to do, pop into office hours and I can certainly help you. There's also should be information in the tutorials on how to do that. And I may have even included a video. I did. I included a video on that here too. So if you would prefer a photo, that is fine, but just make sure it's light enough so that you can see the text on it. So first thing that you need to do is get the graphic, and then you're going to add it to your page. And this is the code that you need to add to your assignment page to get the graphic in the background. Now, the rest of the information in here is optional. A lot of people like to save the connection information and make it more permanent. And you can do that using the Filezilla site manager. And so this article explains how to use the site manager, and this video shows you how to use it. Totally optional, okay? But I know some of you are going to want to do this. And then for royalty-free images, Pixabay, I just took you guys to, but there are other sites as well, okay? And you can go to any of those. If you run into problems or if you have questions, please ask for help. And if it is a problem with seeing your graphics or getting your links to work, you need to make sure you transfer your pages to the web, because I'm going to need to look at your code. I'm not going to be able to help you, by your asking a question through the email unless I can see what's going on. So those pages really need to be up on the web. So if you have trouble transferring them, that's a different issue. You're going to need to come into the live stream office hours or send me an email and we can figure out a time that we can meet in Zoom. It's kind of important with this initial stuff that you guys understand it and get it right. So please reach out if you have help, if you need help, and have an awesome week.